quick video as you're preparing your books for the final, due date, which is coming up here. And I know that you're going to be getting them printed. If you're not printing them yourselves, you might get them printed at, say, like CalCopy, as we've mentioned. I just wanted to, and I know you may already have considered this, but I want to just be sure as we're getting into the home stretch that I mention these things just in case, okay? Because it's always good to contact them, or anywhere you're going to go to have these printed, and see how they want you to set up the files. So because different places will have different requirements. So, but aside from that, one of the things I wanted to mention to you would be if you are printing things with spreads where you have graphics, images, logos, or vector work or whatever that goes across the gutter. I want to talk about that with you. I just have this very basic setup here that's template kind of deal, one of the things, I don't know if it bothers you, like to me, I'm working in InDesign here. I really don't like these boxes around everything unless I click on them. I want the bounding box to show when I click something, but I don't want it there all the time. If you go under View in InDesign and you go under Extras and go to Hide Frame Edges, those will go away, and for me, it's just, my life is so much better already, So let's say this is my cover. If I look at my pages, for example, I have it set up with facing pages. I have my cover, I have my first spread, and my second spread, okay? On the first spread is just a large vector logo that I've brought in, and on the second page is an image that I just brought in, a raw image. So one of the things to consider, again, this is a spread, but they're two separate pages, right? So if you are going to have this printed, and you're going to have this any kind of item go across the gutter, you're going to have to copy it and paste it in the exact same place, and then have one on each page instead of just one going across two pages. Okay. So for example, if I go to copy this, I just go to Edit, Copy, and I go to Edit, Paste, and Place. Okay. Now I have them on top of each other, and if I go to my first, if I go show my guides here. If I now open, close this here, and then I close this here, what's happening is I essentially have this version here and this version here. They're seamlessly connected, but now if I was to separate these pages, I wouldn't have it overhanging, okay? Because one thing they may have you do is, and so you can see this version here, this is still just a spread. It hasn't been split up as it should be. So if I go into my Pages palette, and let's say I'm gonna uncheck these, allow document pages to shuffle. That's the only one you really need to check, but I'm going to uncheck them both. And now what will happen because one thing they may want you to do is to set this up even as single pages. They might want you to separate the pages. I'm not sure if that's true, but they may. So if I'm in InDesign and I click on this page and I just drag it out, I see this little line, and then I move it down, it'll separate the two pages for me. Okay, and what you can see is it's the continuation from both pages. Okay, so you see that's my first page. It goes across, bleeds off the end there, and I go here, and because then they can take this and rearrange it. Okay, because as you know, unless it's the very center spread, when you print this for the printer, how we view it in viewer spreads is different than printer spreads. Okay, because when we look, if we were to assemble this, you have the middle spread, like where this, the centerfold spread, basically, which is going to be, that will be printed as one spread, but all of the other pages will be different. I mean, they won't be printing in the same order that we're going to be viewing them. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to do this same thing here, if I wanted to move this page, you can see what's happening is now that's just hanging over the edge, and I have nothing on this page. Okay, so if I had to rearrange this page to line it up in position with the page it's actually going to print with, I would have nothing here. Okay, so if I undo that, and I do the same thing that I did before, I just go to Edit, Copy, okay, which is Command or Control C, and then Edit, Paste, and Place. Okay, now I can do the same thing that I did earlier. I can close this up. I just put it right to the edge of the page. Same thing with this one here. Okay, and now if I do that, again, I click and drag this out till I see that little line, and it'll push it down to the next page for me. Now I see I have that page there, so when I take it and I arrange it with the other page it's going to actually be printing with, that works, and the same thing will be true for this one. Okay, so that's an important consideration as you get your books prepared. Just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And again, be sure that you do talk to your service provider, if it's CalCopy or something like that, and just get a clearer sense of how they want you to set up your files and any requirements, okay, that they may have you consider before you get it prepped to print. All right. Hope that's helpful. I look forward to seeing your finished products. All right. See ya.